afternoon too, Gillian. Explain to us exactly what's happening with regards to access to court.
A very good afternoon to you. Yes, as you said, there a lot of confusion and frustration when we arrived here around about 9 o'clock this morning. We found hordes of people outside of the precinct at the gate, not knowing why they are not being allowed into court. These are people who also had court cases. But I think what is not clear is the categories of people that are allowed to attend court proceedings during this lockdown. As you said there, it is accused persons, but it's urgent matters. People who have bail applications, cases involving women of domestic violence, women of sexual abuse, also cases involving children. Even though we had spoken to someone who had a matter on the roll for a theft matter, I'm sure that didn't fall under the pretext of it being an urgent matter. So that is where a lot of the confusion came in. We also spoke to a lot of family members who had come to the precinct wanting to attend proceedings for the family members or the accused people that have been in court. We also understand that most of the postponements at these particular courts around the country is happening with CCTV cameras that is linked to correctional facilities, that links to courts. So that is how a lot of the postponements have been happening. On any given day, a court precinct here at the Protea Court in Soweto would never look like this. It's normally bustling with people. And I'm sure since that directive came in from the directive from Justice Mogoeng around the certain regulations that will be in place for courts like this, magistrates' courts and lower courts, we've seen a lot less people being allowed into the precinct compared to the usual traffic that you would see into courts like this. Today is Monday. Courts like this are bustling with cases around drunken driving, with maintenance issues, around people maybe not having attended court, and now warrants of arrest have been issued. Usually you see a lot of family members milling around here waiting for their court cases to be called, for bail applications to take place, for cases involving children that might be in the trial stage of proceedings to take place. A lot of these cases come to these particular courts, and we know that thousands upon thousands of cases come through these corridors into these courts every day. But that list has definitely been streamlined, and I think what the general public is not understanding, or the message that has not filtered out to them, is the categories of people that will be allowed into the precinct. Yes, if you are an accused person for an urgent matter, you will be allowed in court. Family members, I think they're being very strict around the numbers and the volumes they're allowing into these particular courts. You know the size of the court and how small our courts are. But let us listen to some of the responses that we got from the community who were barred from entering proceedings. Listen to these vox pops.
The first one is that they never planned. There's not even a loudspeaker, so people are forced to be together, so they don't observe a social space. So we are so entangled with each other, so it seems our life is so cheap. That's the first one. The second one, they just called on people for maintenance, that's all, and protection order, that's all.
Actually, it's a Monday. People, they have to attend on court. So now when we hear them, they say people, they must come to the court. Is the one who's coming for them, protection order, the one for the maintenance. So the witnesses, they are not allowed to come in. But now, as we want to comply with the government, as they said, but now the government is supposed to close the courts, that the courts are not working. So now this is why you see a lot of people it's working like this, like people that are not obeying the instruction for the government.
They say the family members, they are allowed to come in. But now we're standing outside, they are not allowing us to come in. We don't understand what's going on here. They should have told us before which family members, so they are not allowed. So now we are just standing here. They are not giving us a solid answer. So we want to know what's happening.
I'm here for a case of theft, and I've got 3 accused who are inside. So I've been here since 8 o'clock. So they've been telling us to wait outside. They want to call us by names. So only to find out my lawyer from my other accused, he came out, he told me that they've already postponed our case for the 19th of May. And he told me that they already sent out a a warrant of arrest for me because I wasn't inside in time, and I told him that we've been standing outside here, so he said it's not a problem, I should go home.
What government announced that there'll be police, there'll be soldiers to actually control the crowd. I mean, there were more than thousands of people here, and then they said 80 people can only assemble, and the distance, there's nobody's keeping the distance. And we've been watching this thing going on. We've been here since 8 o'clock, and they've been, it's so frustrating.
And those are some of the responses that we got from some of the members outside of the precinct, telling us their frustrations, not also understanding why there aren't any authorities trying to, institute the social distancing that should be in place. As you saw, there are a lot of hordes of people, not really exercising that 1 meter distance between them. But for now, I understand that the majority of the cases have been processed, and those hordes have dispersed. I'm sure that courts will also look at a better way to handle the kind of congestion that we saw outside of the gate going forward. Back to you.
Gillian, it seems the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development failing to properly inform citizens and make provisions that information actually gets out and protects people who are coming to court. Gillian Pillay outside the Protea Magistrate's Court in Soweto there.